Good afternoon, friends and guests of Open Market Institute. I am so honored to be with you all today. Open Markets Institute has long understood a really foundational truth that free speech and fair markets are essential for strong democracies. I just want to thank Barry Lynn as well, the whole Open Markets team. What you are doing is incredible. It is urgent. It is needed. This moment in history is one where this conversation must be had on the global level because the challenges we face know no geopolitical boundaries. So I'm grateful that you have brought us together, these leaders, to grapple with the question of our enduring democracies in an era of AI. As I was preparing these remarks, I looked back to my remarks from the 2018 OMI conference, A Right to Compete, Are Monopolies Crushing Entrepreneurship? The same problems we saw the United States facing 7 years ago, we see now. The stifling of innovation, the stifling of entrepreneurship, wage stagnation, and income inequality. The same concern about the incredible concentration of economic and political power in the United States, watching small businesses and entrepreneurs struggling to compete against massive multinational corporations. How this was threatening our ideals of liberty and freedom, the ideal that this is a nation where if you work hard, you can get ahead. That if you're got some special talent or special skill, or you have the grit, this nation is for you. You can make it here. You can make it big. And now here we are today. And I believe these ideals are under an even bigger threat from large corporations that dominate our information environment and from political leaders who seek to subvert our Constitution by silencing their critics, by using their power to undermine what we value in our democracy, free speech and debate. I'm currently in Washington, D.C., where my fellow Democrats and I are fighting to ensure that American families can access something that's vital for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, affordable health care. This is an urgent and essential battle for the well-being of the American people, just as the defense of personal liberty and free speech is vital to the survival of our democracy. Yet this cause transcends nations. It is a fight not only for Americans, but for all of humanity. The fate of liberty, the ideals of freedom in America is inseparably bound to the fate of those same ideals around the world. Fundamental to democracy in the United States, Europe, and across the world is the free exchange of ideas, speech, and thought. It is the fuel of a vibrant democracy. Without it, democracy cannot exist, and democracy is under assault. We see this globally. This is an urgent moment. Now, the internet was envisioned as an open forum for the free exchange of ideas and has served that purpose well in many ways. It has been a way to conduct grassroots organizing, a way to mobilize, a way to have direct communications with the world when traditional media can overlook movements. It was a crucial tool for pro-democratic political movements, the Arab Spring in the Middle East and North Africa, and for mobilizing young people in Iran. Today, however, that exchange is increasingly filtered by algorithms controlled by a small number of firms and by people who are learning more and more how to game those algorithms and undermine our freedoms. These platforms wield enormous power over what we see, hear, share, and think. But the same technology that can liberate can also be weaponized to suppress dissent, control information, and silence entire populations. Its power to connect people matched only by its power to control them. The implications for democracy are truly profound. When access to information is concentrated in so few hands, transparency, accountability, and the open flow of ideas that sustain democratic life are put at risk. With respect to AI, while it has great potential to serve the public good, I am excited about its possibilities, it also has risks that are coming into sharper focus too. One emerging threat is the malicious use of AI tools to mislead voters. We have already seen AI-generated images and videos deployed in our elections, and even now we're seeing deepfakes circulated by government officials, circulated by government leaders to mock and discredit their opponents. These practices erode trust and undermine the integrity of our democracy. AI should be used to tackle real and pressing challenges, not to deceive voters or distort democratic debate. We should be excited about the possibilities, unimaginable new frontiers that can be opened up that can help human flourishing and human potential with AI. But we should also be very, very clear about the challenges. Look, I am proud of America's traditions of invention and innovation. We need to continue to supercharge that. We've seen what Americans can do, from the internet to semiconductors to major advances in artificial intelligence that, with proper guardrails, carry tremendous potential for accelerating science and discovery and opening up new frontiers of human excellence and human possibility. But we know what happens when we create transformational technologies and fail to prepare for and manage the downstream risks. With the internet and social media, for instance, we fail to prevent companies from harvesting our personal data, undermining our privacy, and pushing highly addictive algorithms that contribute to the crises of disinformation, contribute to the challenges of youth mental health and democratic decay. It's long been clear to anyone paying attention that massive companies, accountable only to shareholders, will not always act in the public's best interest. Therefore, it is the responsibility of all of us, of our policymakers, of our leaders, to ensure that there is accountability and oversight that can protect the public from bad actors in a way that enables innovation and democracy to flourish. I believe these are not counter to each other. We can actually create an environment where innovation and science and technology, that transformative ideas can become real for humanity and also protect our democracies as well. So our challenge is to ensure that the instrument of human connection, the new world we are seeing, remains a tool of freedom, not a tool of fear, that becomes a tool of opportunity and not oppression. But as I noted at the top, democracy cannot flourish without speech, and I cannot overstate the seriousness of the encroachments on free speech going on in the United States. The First Amendment was designed to protect Americans from leaders who would censor and suppress dissent. We have a president right now that is using the power of the state to silence his critics, whether they're students on campuses or university administrators or law firms, or even late-night comedians. And he does so gleefully on technology platforms controlled by his political allies. And here is where we face the gravest threat. When control of the technology we rely on to live our daily lives rests in the hands of a few, are we not at their mercy? When the platforms that allow us to communicate across borders and cultures are surveilled by those who own them, how can we trust the information we receive? And when the power to shape the technology that defines modern life lies with a select few, we must ask, whose interest does it serve? The current president of the United States is abusing the power of the federal government to punish his opponents in ways I could never have imagined just a few years ago. He has corrupted the antitrust merger laws to benefit his allies and his political patrons. And he has used his lieutenants in government to threaten TV networks into submission. In writing about the Jimmy Kimmel incident, Barry said something significant. Quote, "This is not an attack only on liberals, progressive, and Democrats. The threat to Disney is an attack on every American, be Republican, independent, conservative, or libertarian." Barry warned that the government did not act on your behalf, but rather against the system that for 250 years has protected you, your family, your community, your church, or religious institution. The original lesson of America is simple. Freedom for all means freedom for all. And perhaps most critically, he called on us to oppose any and every threat against our freedoms of speech, inquiry, debate, day after day until we prevail. He is right. Technology, and now AI, can enable human progress, drive innovation, expand opportunity, connect people in ways that were once unimaginable, and open new doors of human possibility. But without the right safeguards, the same tools that can empower us can also exploit, mislead, or divide. We must be bold and imaginative enough to innovate and wise enough to protect. The future of technology and of freedom itself depends on our ability to build with both creativity and conscience. Our challenge is not to resist innovation, it is to guide it responsibly, to expand its frontiers, to make it happen in a way that elevates human flourishing, human potential, and democracy. We must ensure that AI and emerging technologies serve humanity and not dominate it. It is really important that our technologies remain instruments of liberty, not control. Thank you all for being the stewards of this new frontier. I am an optimist. In fact, I'm a prisoner of hope. I believe that together we can build a future where technology empowers expression, protects truth, strengthens the bonds of a free and open society. I am pro-technology. I am excited about technological possibilities and the innovators who are at the center of all of this activity. I believe that together we can ensure that technology continues to expand opportunity and controls against those dark forces that threaten humanity. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to address you. I feel in so many ways blessed that these ideas are not in silos of concern, but are really being expressed by organizations like this, elevating the consciousness of all, so we can, in so many ways, crowdsource democracy. In fact, democracy is in and of itself about trusting the wisdom of the people. We have the power. I still believe we live in a nation, in fact, in a world where the power of the people is greater than the people in power, but only if we use it. Forums like this, conversations like this, work like this is vital. And I want to thank you for what you are all doing. As hopeful as I am about our future, you all fuel even greater hopes for what I believe is not just possibilities, but our destiny.